Alright, you guys might think this is morbid. It's not really. But I wanted to talk about. I found kind of a website that lists all of the rock stars or famous, semi famous musicians and um, that have died. Now, freaking websites. Becoming a pain in the ass the longer I stay on it. Isn't that interesting how so many ads start popping up and completely take control of your phone? Okay. First off, I'm going to say a couple things. After looking through all of the rock stars that I could find a list that, probably not all of them obviously, but the ones that died one way or another, that were semi-famous or, in bands that were famous. The only ones that I could find, actually I don't even know if it listed. So Ian Curtis, I want to say is Ian Curtis. He was a singer of Joy Division, right? I think that he killed himself. I mean, the point I'm getting at is there's some like Jim Morrison. There's some like that where you're not sure if it was suicide. So I'm talking about a very clear, like, they killed themselves. The only one that I can find that actually shot themselves and killed themselves was Kurt. But I'll go through them. But why you might think this is morbid is, why am I thinking about this? Well, because it came to mind in the last video, and I it kind of surprised me. Number one, knowing Kurt, he was ultimately a gentle person. Even if you think like, he was into pain or something, I don't think he was into pain. I mean, putting a needle in your arm, that's a fine line if you're saying the pain starts feeling good or you get used to it or something, whatever. But, and launching himself into drum sets but ultimately Kurt wasn't into pain, I don't think, That's a good point. He only had one small tattoo, too. It wasn't something that he liked, though that's not a very good point either. So we're just going to drop that. Anyway, it's upsetting to think that he shot himself, and it's hard to believe, and it will always be hard to believe. Okay? Whether it happened or not. It just is fucking hard to believe, alright? Alright. These are the list. This is the list. We'll see if my phone will cooperate with me. Jimi Hendrix. OD. John Lennon, shot. Freddie Mercury died of a sickness. Jim Morrison, we don't know. He died in a bathtub, maybe an overdose. Kurt. Buddy Holly, plane crash. Janis Joplin, again, it's like an OD. They say she was ultra sad, but it wasn't a suicide. Stevie Ray Vaughan, plane crash. Bob Marley was shot. Pretty sure. John Bonham drank himself to death. Marvin Gaye, shot by his dad. And this is this is weird because it's not telling me how they died. It's just from my memory. Keith Moon, I think he drank himself to death, like John Bonham, I think. Elvis Presley, I think he OD'd. Dwayne Allman, I'm not sure. Ronnie Van Zant, plane crash. That's from it's from Leonard Skinner. Otis Redding, I'm not sure how Otis Redding died. He died in 1967, so I'm not sure about that. Bon Scott drank himself to death. He died like Jimi Hendrix, basically, from what we know. Randy Rhoads, plane crash. George Harrison, he was stabbed, and then I think he died from the stabbing, something to do with the injury. Richie Valens, plane crash, same as Buddy Holly. Cliff Burton, bus crash. Lane Staley, OD. Sam Cooke was shot, 1964, so that was around the civil rights movement. His story, there's a documentary, guys, it's really good. It's on Netflix, I think. Watch it. The Sam Cooke documentary is fucking good. Jim Croce, plane crash. Dimebag Darrell, shot on stage. Come on, phone. Frank Zappa. I don't know if Frank Zappa had an illness or something. Karen Carpenter was a bulimic, so she died having to do with health reasons. Michael Jackson died. He was given too much sleep medication. Amy Winehouse is, again, it's kind of up in the air. It's like she OD'd, but it may have been kind of that, you know. See, anyway. Jeff Buckley was swimming in the Missouri River, or Mississippi, whatever's off of, yeah, anyway, he drowned. That's fucking sad too, man. Jesus Christ. Okay, David Bowie died from old age, pretty much, in a sense. Prince OD'd. Brian Jones died from, I think, well, from what we know, alcohol and other stuff. Robert Johnson, I'm not sure. I think alcohol. The Big Bopper, 1959. I don't know. Joey Ramone, he died of cancer. Muddy Waters, maybe at old age. Jerry Garcia was only 53. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it probably has something to do with heroin. Andy Gibb, I'm not sure. Graham Parsons, I'm not sure. John Denver, plane crash. Johnny Cash, old age pretty much. Cass Elliot, I think it was health issues. Mark Bolan was a car wreck. He's from T-Rex. Michael Hutchence. He was from INXS, and I think that he did kill himself by the same way Chris Cornell killed himself. John S. Entwistle, who was a bass player of The Who, I don't know how he died exactly. I think Ian Curtis may have killed himself too. The same way. I'm not sure. Tom Petty basically died of old age. Ronnie James Dio basically died of, I don't want to say old age, but Chris Cornell. Sid Vicious was stabbed by Nancy, right? I mean, I think that's what happened, pretty sure. Joe Strummer, not sure how Joe Strummer died. Bradley Noel from Sublime, the Stone Poet. He died OD right before the first album came out, which was very strange. I think. I mean, he was very, not that anything else happened. Dennis Wilson, I don't know. I'm not sure how Dennis Wilson died. Roy Orbison, not sure how Roy Orbison died. Jeff Healey. I thought Jeff Healey was still alive. I didn't know that. Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. I think he died from alcohol. Hank Williams, probably from alcohol. Warren Zevon, not sure. Nick Drake, I think that he. I mean, again, it's kind of like Nick Drake was. I think that he OD'd on painkillers, something like that. Elliott Smith. Elliott Smith supposedly killed himself. Forgot about that. Um, Waylon Jennings, Frank Sinatra, Joe Cocker, Ray Charles, Scott Weiland. Anyway, so yeah, so history and everything would basically say that Kurt was the first to have killed himself violently with a gun. There's no one else, I don't think. And again, it bothers me because I mean, you just don't know what's going on in someone's head, but I don't know, man. Anyway, there's some history for you. I know it's morbid history, but um, it is kind of interesting. I mean, I think it almost seems like there's a percentage that died in plane crashes, you know, for sure a percentage, but um, anyway, all right. I will talk to you later. Bye.